Hello, my name is Constance Oliver. I'm here to talk about the Nipah virus, and here's my audience.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I decided to talk about the Nipah virus because when I researched it, it became interesting to me how it was contacted through um, infected pigs, and it was emerging in 1998 through 1999 in Malaysia and Singapore, and it was discovered through pig farmers who were raising these pigs and on farms over in different parts of the world. There was evidence that this Nipah virus infection was among several species of animals, the domestic animals as horses, goats, like I said, pigs, and cats and dogs. The disease causes respiratory problems. Um, this organism, this Nipah virus, is also called the Nipah virus encephalitis. It is in family of the Paramyxoviridae. It's closely related to the Hendra virus. Um, it was an infection. It was first isolated, and this, like I said, in 1988 through 1999. The name comes from this village in Malaysia where the person who contacted it was first isolated and succumbed to the disease. Um, the virus had outbreaks in pigs in Malaysia and Singapore, also in humans. It was transmitted and spread through fruit bats, also known as the flying foxes, and other bats. These bats were in the tropical forest that were the pig farmers had the pigs. These bats would, like I said, be on these fruit trees, and they had secretions that were saliva, feces, and urine. They would fly over these pig pens and drop these saliva and also the fruit from these fruit trees. These pigs would eat it and become infected. The bats had this disease, and they were a host for this disease. It did not affect them at all. These excretions and secretions initiated the infection in the pigs, which was followed by a rapid spread. Transmission from the farmers from the pigs was due to carrying the virus on their clothing, equipment, their boots, vehicles. Also, person to person, human contact was from direct contact with excretions and secretions from the infected pigs. In other areas from transmission was from bats, where people who would climb these fruit trees and drink the raw palm sap, and they would drink it raw, and in this palm sap it had these bats feces and urine in it, and they would drink this and become infected. So they would get fever. Some of the symptoms were fever, nausea, and vomiting, disoriented, mental confusion, muscle aches. And when they discovered this, these farmers, they got sick, and also, other people, they would take lab work, and they discovered this virus, which kind of like had a herringbone shape, single stranded, and it was the Nipah virus. But by that time it was too late. There's no vaccine for it. People who had just acute symptoms, this fever, they had to deal with just the fever. They gave them the antiviral drug ribavirin, which just kind of kept them at bay. It didn't cure them. But people who they found had it for a while, it was almost too late. It would attack the central nervous system, a thrombus to the brain, and they would later go into a coma and even die. Also, it was, like I said, difficult to diagnose. The only way they could diagnose it would be through lab tests. So there were a lot of people over in these different parts of the country that caught this, and what they did was they tested the pigs also, and what they had to do was kill all these pigs. It was over 1 million of them, which through a process they call culling or slaughtering. And also the prevention was they had to tell these farmers that after they slaughtered these pigs, they would have to clean their equipment, bleach it down. There were gloves, aprons, everything. And also good hand washing. And also the people in hospitals who dealt with the infected people, they would have to wear gloves and aprons and everything just to keep themselves from getting infected, because transmission was through respiratory, like coughing and just bodily fluids. Also, during those outbreaks, human infections results from direct contact, they say here, with sick pigs or contaminated tissues. Transmission is thought to have occurred through respiratory droplets and the pigs coughing. Also, people would eat these fruit from these fruit trees. Like I said, the hosts were the bats, and they would become infected by eating this fruit from the fruit trees. So preventive measure also was just to be people to be aware, and so to reduce infection and be aware of the risk factors, and educating people about the measures they can take to prevent from getting exposure to this disease. And also, they're working on a vaccine, so hopefully they'll find one. And that will be the end of my video presentation. If you have any questions, let me know, and I enjoyed it.